Hello, everyone, and welcome to the J Tonight. Almost end of season J Tonight. But tonight we are very excited to have Fancey with us. Fancey, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good. How's it going, everybody?
Doing good. How are you doing tonight, Toaster?
Good. It's been a busy work week. Had to pretend to be manager for a whole week, but other than that, we're good.
That is not fun if you're not getting manager pay.
Nope.
This is never fun. I have been absolutely slammed this week too. I actually do work if it's believable, but I've been very busy and excited to get onto the J tonight. We do have our first comment. I'm here for Fancy Pants from BW.
Yeah.
Got fans.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it back at the bottom because it removed it for me. But we do have this week's trivia question. It was from last week, or last episode. We weren't here last week. Last episode, and it's what season did HFFO win their first Zach Miller Award in the J?
Never. They're still waiting.
That answer is still waiting, so we're gonna bump it up to a $200,000 SHL Buck prize to get 2 Ruby packs, not on the same day, but back-to-back days, essentially. So let's put that one in the comment, and the first person to answer wins. So we are here 3 weeks into the season. It just wrapped up the third sim week. If you notice behind me, I do have a new banner. I'm trying to get it a little bit better fit on the camera, but it has the SMJHL Tonight logo, and then all the teams separated by Northern and Southern Conference. And so I actually have 3 of these. One's for me, one's for Toaster, and we are giving away the third one. And in order to enter into that giveaway, all you have to do is donate $12 to the league. You get free 10 packs of cards each month with that donation as well, because that's the regular one. But we'll enter you into our giveaway, and that's going to go until the end of the season. So after playoffs, we will do the drawing. I know 4 people have done it so far. They've reached out to me. If you guys need the link to donate, I will send it to you. It's easy to do, and it helps the league kind of keep running and not having ads everywhere. So we all love that. So each of our teams are on there.
Yeah,
It's an awesome banner, by the way. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I appreciate it. I wanted to get it done earlier because I don't want to have like just a Kelowna banner up. I think that's a little bit unfair because we cover the whole J. So I was like, I'm going to create this just so that we have all the teams and show it off. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into our first segment, which is the league standings and how everything is going. Get us over to the 3-person share screen. Boom. There we are. And there are the standings. Leading the way is...
they're a little different this week.
It is a little bit different. Quebec City sitting in first. They have 1 game played more than St. Louis. St. Louis has that game in hand. Both tied at 70 points. But Quebec's sitting at 34, 12, and 2, while St. Louis is at 33, 10, and 4. Quebec's with a plus 112 goal differential, which is absolutely crazy. And St. Louis is at a plus 82. And then Great Falls is coming in at third with 69 points, game in hand as well there against Quebec City. So any of those 3 can really be in first place once the game's even out. Detroit's turned it back on. They're sitting in fourth with 57 points with a 57-point percentage. Carolina sitting in fifth with 56 points, 48 games played. Nevada, Fancy, your team sitting in 6th. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, it's we're climbing up there. Pretty decently competitive season from us so far. I think we've been pretty happy with it, to be honest.
Quite the improvement from last season.
Very. I expected this from you guys last season, and now you guys are doing it. So I'm happy for you.
An impressive 0 goal differential. Really balanced.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. That was actually the first thing I noticed was just a flat 0.
Completely neutral on that. Colorado's coming in at 7th, 48 games, 54 points at 23, 17, and 8. Vancouver sitting in 8th, 47 games played, 25, 19, and 3. Kelowna sitting in 9th, 53 games, sitting at 22, 28, and 3. Yukon sitting in 10th, 48 games played, 22, 23, and 3, tied with Kelowna at 47 points. Thunder Bay sitting in 11th with 51 games, 21, 26, and 4 with 46 points. Ottawa sitting in 12th, 46 games played, 22, 24, and 0 with 44 points. Newfoundland sitting in 13th, 21, 26 with 42 points. Maine sitting down in 14th, 48 games played, 19, 26, and 3. Anchorage sitting in 15th place with 47 games played, 17, 27, and 3 with 37 points. And San Diego sitting in last place with 15 wins, 30 losses, and 33 points. BW got the trivia question. Season 5 is correct. So reach out to me in Discord, and I will set you up for payment, or Toaster will. One of us will pay you.
One of us. I can do it.
So what are your surprises? What are your thoughts on coming into the last regular season sim week, you guys?
I'm surprised that Great Falls fell from first.
Are you?
I know it's not a far fall at all, or many points. They're only 1 point behind, but they were looking, I think, like 6 or 7 points ahead of everybody else last week, and they've had a little bit of a downturn there.
Yeah.
For me, my biggest surprise here is Anchorage. I had expected
a little bit better.
A much more competitive season, and it's been just, maybe they should start that rebuild process or whatever it may be.
They were literally in the rebuild last year. You were expecting them to be a little bit better this year, which I was thinking they were going to be a middle of the pack team, and now they're struggling, and I don't know how much of that. There's a really fine line between what you can control in this sim, as I'm finding out this season.
There's definitely a little more strategy into FHM than what's led on, and there's some teams that really figure it out, and
I mean, I'm not happy with where we are as Kelowna, but I think we finally kind of figured out what tactics are working for us now, because we had a better sim week this week, and that was due to changes that we've been constantly trying to make. And it's FHM, because it's like, well, these should have been working, but they're not doing anything at all. So what is going on here?
I think Anchorage is one of the top TPE teams too.
Are they?
I think so.
They've traded for a bunch of players.
Yeah. Might just be the chemistry not working out still, or
one of their favorite trade partners is on the show with us. There's always a Nevada Anchorage trade every season, it seems like.
Yeah, we actually made a trade with Anchorage a few days ago.
Yep, you got Lucas or
Luca Lilia.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Vretu is a great user, and we're just super happy to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Just to kind of break that down, I guess, is we're looking at trying to be even more competitive next season, and that definitely adds to that and getting younger as well.
Now this is BV's last season on the squad,
It
right?
is, which is super sad for us.
I bet it is.
Yeah,
And then you guys have my favorite person in the world, Oscar.
Mhm.
My in real life best friend in the world. So you guys got some good players over there. I'm always slightly cheering for you when you're not playing us.
Got Colonel Saunders too.
Yep, has Colonel Saunders too.
Yeah, we're the rebuild really paid off for us.
Yeah.
Well,
we did end up getting some really great users, and you just listed a few, and there are more.
Yep. They and your guys' draft this year was excellent. I think we talked about that a lot on the first episode of the season. Yeah, you guys are higher up than what I predicted, but I think that was more playing that I thought you were going to do better last year than you did.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you're actually achieving what you should have been achieving pretty much last season.
And that's actually largely on me. Last season was my first season of FHM.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it was just experimental stuff, what works, what doesn't. It's a new FHM, so does FHM 8 tactics work in FHM 10? And then this season, JFK's kind of really taking that over and just like, okay, we know that this works, so we're just going to stick to it. And that was our big mistake from last year, largely on me. But that's why we had such a miserable season last season.
I'd love to have kind of like a GM roundtable on tactic discussion and how each goes about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was I knew that was going to be my weakest point because I did a little bit in Anchorage. I helped out a little bit in Anchorage on the tactics, but not much. Mm-hmm. And so, I was very happy when I got into Kelowna, and Pyro still stayed on. Frost was still there. Jay gives help as well, to be able to bounce stuff off of them. But everybody, it's even in those situations of the war room, there's still a lot of debate between people on what works and what doesn't work. And so, a lot of times it's just like, what are you going to get out of FHM anyways? And so I'd love to have an off-season roundtable with GMs and kind of just talk about that. I think that would be a fun conversation.
Yeah, I think, like you said too, I think almost every GM pair would have something different to say about it.
Yeah. Let's go into the leaders. There is a familiar name up top. I'm going to go ahead and share BW's comment. Love Rutu. And so we had Toivo Jokinen, a.k.a. Toaster, leading the way in goals still.
Still there.
Matt Smith in second from Detroit, and Severin Quinn from Colorado in third. Greg Evil leading the way in assists. Evil is back with 51 out of Quebec. Jose Salcido with 45, and Maximus Decimus Meridius with 42 out of Detroit. Coming down to points, Seth go with 74 points. I'm not doing that today.
Where's the ace clip?
I didn't import it in here. I knew I forgot something. When you guys are talking for a little bit, you're going to see me working on something, and that's going to be what I'm working on, is importing the ace clip. Toivo Jokinen in second with 72, and Greg Evil in third with 69. So he has 18 goals and 51 assists. Greg Evil does.
That's crazy.
Chubby Barista, Johan Ludwig, and you, Nishin you leading the way in plus minus. Chubby with 47, Johan with 47, and Yo with 41, all out of Quebec. Seth Go leading the way in shots with 204. Severin Quinn with a 26% shot percentage. Levi Bedrock out of Kelowna leading the way in hits with 187. a bunch of people have won one fight. Rondelos Ringo Ramont with 51 penalty minutes. Toivo Jokinen with 48.
48.
When he's not scoring, he's in the box.
Yep.
Robbie Gardner with 155 shot blocks out of Kelowna. Toivo Jokinen with 15 power play goals, and 5 hole goes west with 5 shorthanded goals out of Carolina. And then we will switch over to goalies real quick. Give the goalies some love. Leading the way in wins is Lurtz McCord out of Quebec City with 28. Victor Bork Pejlika with 21, and Hansa Havren with 21. Travis Coates out of Maine with 25 losses. Yuri Satoshi with 23 losses out of Kelowna. Overtime losses, Mr. Kicksave with 6 of those. Goals against, Travis Coates leads the way with 184. Goals against average, Linus Oli with 2.45 goals against average out of Kelowna. But the real starters out of Matty Brynjarsen and Tyler Bodega out of Great Falls with a 2.49 and a 2.50. Goals saved above average, Lurtz McCord with a 14.64, followed closely by Linus Oli with a 14.51. Travis Coates with 1,439 saves this season. Linus Oli with a .926 save percentage out of Kelowna. Meguro Bashara with 3 shutouts along with Campanella and Giovanni. Victor Bork Pajlika, Claude Lecaster, Angel Ann Kowalski, and Yuri Satoshi. And Travis Coates with 46 games played, followed by Yuri Satoshi with 43. That is my favorite part of the show.
46. Maine's played 48 games, so he's played all but 2.
Yep.
Man, needs a break.
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of backup goalies in the league right
that's
now.
True.
I think that's been one of the main positions that a lot of teams need is an active backup goalie. We have an inactive backup goalie, so we don't play him as much.
Yeah.
We just kind of go with who's active and let them play until they're reaching stamina levels. So, with all that said, what are your guys' predictions going into the last week? Who's going to finish first in the league? What do you see there?
It'll be rough for anybody to catch the top 3. They're already 12 points ahead, 12, 13 points ahead of the next.
Mm-hmm.
But I think of those 3, Quebec will probably come out on top. At least
You
overall.
think Quebec's come out on top?
Yep.
Yeah,
Fancey,
I'll
where you
second
at?
that. I'll second that. I think the final standings are going to be the exact same 1, 2, 3.
I want to look at. Let's look at the schedule. That might give us some insight. If it's on load. Let's see.
I was looking at the defender stats too. It looks like there's been 7 fight wins and 6 of them were defensemen. So if you want to win a fight, don't fight a defenseman.
So Great Falls plays Quebec City twice and plays St. Louis once in their final sim week.
Are they home or away? Let's see.
They are away for both Quebec City games and away for the St. Louis game. So
That'll be tough.
That'll be a tough one. St. Louis. St. Louis still has a tough because they're facing Nevada twice. 3 times.
Nevada 3 times, Detroit twice.
Yeah. And Quebec City once.
Yep.
And they get that one at home.
I think Nevada and St. Louis's season record is a little funky too. I think we beat you guys Toaster a couple times.
That sounds right. Let's see here.
And then Quebec City.
4-2 in St. Louis.
They have 2 games against Great Falls and 1 game against St. Louis. And then they get to play San Diego, Anchorage, Newfoundland, Anchorage again. Yeah, I think Quebec City holds on to it because they have a way more favorable schedule heading down the last stretch against lower placed teams than what St. Louis and Great Falls have to face. So I would agree with you guys. I think it will be a Quebec City, St. Louis, Great Falls finish, which these are the conference standings as well.
And I think solely based on a deep dive that Notorious Tron did, the Berserkers will climb the standings a little bit.
You think so?
Because they have 18 of their 25 final games are at home.
That will probably help them. How much do you think they'll be able to climb, though? They do have a lot of games in hand against Thunder Bay. So
They're 13th with 42 points. I think they could maybe hit 10th.
they do have a horrible road record, 9-20.
Yeah, that's not great.
The middle of the pack here is really condensed. There's not very much difference in points here between a lot of these teams.
No, there's a huge drop off from the top 3 down to, it's a 12-point difference between third place team and fourth place team.
And then
that's
4 point from 4 to 8.
Yeah, and that's with Detroit having 3 more games in hand or played than those top 3 teams. So it's even Carolina has the same games played as Quebec City, and they're 14 points behind. So that middle is pretty much jam-packed together. So there's going to be a lot of movement the last week. Nevada has a really good chance of jumping up to third place in the league before the end of it in the conference.
Yeah, it's very possible. And that is kind of a tricky one for us as well, because I don't really want to say who our favorable matchup is, but we might want to end up finishing a little bit lower in the standings than instead of jumping up.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense on it.
It does make a difference in the playoffs that you face.
So let's get back to our 3-person screen. There we go. I'll go ahead and stop sharing this. So I'm excited to see kind of what happens the last week and go from there. But tonight we have Fancey on to talk about himself. I've been wanting to get him on for a while. I when I joined the league in season 82, I remember reading your article about trying to make getting jobs a little bit better in the league.
Yeah.
And it hit completely at home for somebody who just could not get a job at the time.
And now you've got like 7.
And now I'm have so many jobs that's bad. And what really made the whole thing better was the fact that HO listened. And they came up with your own position, essentially.
Yeah, that's something that I've talked about with a few people. It's definitely a unique one for sure. I'm the only one that has it.
Yep.
But actually, I believe I spoke with both of you guys
Yep.
before
Mhm.
the job was even a thing.
Yep.
And it's just something that I've been passionate about since I joined the league, really. For me, I worked as a J uh, budget assistant pretty much in my second, or I think I started in my second season. And that really, really opened me up to the league. And before that, I was like basically IA. I was a waiver claim, so I missed out on a ton of TPE right off the start of my career. And that just opened up a new drive to actually do something in the league. And tying that into now I'm a co-GM, I just think other people and other users will relate to this because, well, maybe they might not be able to get a job. And yeah, there's other things that you can do. Like you can write media and be active in your locker room, but you really don't get into it the same until you get that experience of working with other people here to see what the community can actually do.
Yep.
Mhm.
So that's a big thing of how this entire thing even started, was just that this is how I got into it. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that would be awesome to have around if we can get them into it just as much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that that's what I really enjoyed about your media is that you're basically saying there are so many people in this league that would love to do something,
Hmm.
and they're just not able to get their foot in the door. And in those situations, you can lose passion about it if you feel like I'm just going to keep dredging and doing media and doing this, and but not really feeling like you have ownership of being in the
Hmm.
league. I
Mhm.
think when you get a job in the league, you start to feel like you have a little bit of ownership into the league, and you feel a little bit more and a little bit more drive of being excited about the league.
Yeah, I think there's another sense of making connections there as well. Just interacting with more users, and typically users in jobs are more of the active side. So, I mean, as a GM, as a player, you guys have experienced it. I've experienced it. There's a bunch of people that come into the league and immediately go IA. They'll probably end up saying a few things in your locker room, and then they'll kind of just dwindle out.
Mhm.
And once you um, become active in a community with more active people, that's where that bond starts. And unfortunately for us in Nevada, there was a big span where our locker room was really, really not great. And it was just like, okay, these awesome rookies are coming in, like we're drafting well, and they end up going IA. Why is that? And it's because there's nothing to drive the locker room.
Yeah.
So if you apply that to the same idea, well, that could be any team. And I'm not calling out anyone specifically. It's just that sometimes in rebuilds and other things, your locker room activity dies as well.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that's where people kind of get lost, I think. So I think it's such an important aspect of what we do here, and just makes for really, really fun time for everybody.
Papa Soren, I saw your comment, and we are actually about to cover that as well. There, the WJC and IIHF actually have active job postings, and we're going to talk about that.
Mhm.
We have that. So, what are your duties as the site job
Mhm.
coordinator?
So right now, I've actually been a little bit tied up lately, so I do apologize for that. But basically, if someone's looking for a job, come to me. I'm your guy. Um, I can sit down and I can work on your application with you just to make sure that you have something that's brought forward to actually show that you have a fit for what you want to do. I can sit down and I can go over every job in the league if someone so desired, and just kind of pinpoint what's right for people.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, I kind of been a little bit slacking in this because school and some other things, but um, I've been working on a master list of every job on site, and it was I've been going to every department head and asking like, okay, what do you look for when you hire someone, and what are your hard requirements for someone who's applying for this job, and just basically putting that into a huge list, um, so that eventually it'll go on to the job postings thread into the job descriptions. And it's basically, I'm hoping for it to be super like, okay, I'll basically, for example, someone comes in and they're not sure what would really suit them. You read my job description sheet and it tells you everything that you need to know about what a job is, when it's available, what to do. And that's the big thing for me right now. It's a huge project. And yeah, that's about pretty much about what I do.
And you also behind the scenes, you're the one that cleans up kind of the job board um, as well, right?
Yeah, I do. I I've been a little bit behind in that. I will get to it eventually, but I do try to get to it. There's another user, James T.
Mm-hmm.
He's very active. He
Yep.
helps me with an ongoing list of every job and who owns it. So
Mm-hmm.
this is where I kind of work with James and uh, basically put what he does with what I do together, and then yeah.
And if you've been in the SHL Discord, main Discord, you know them. they
Yeah.
they are very
You know,
active
James.
in there. They and behind the scenes, I can tell you, in other Discord channels, they're fighting to make sure that the right people that have the job are listed on the site as having the job now. Um, they do a great
Mhm.
job with that. So huge shout
Definitely
out
in
to
the
that.
JGM one, he's relentless. As soon as somebody gets added, just add them, add them, add them.
I'm not. I don't hate that at all.
I don't need.
It's one of those things that when you get that JGM job, you want everybody to know. I will.
It's really funny actually. There's been quite a few times where James has beaten me to updating the sheet, and sometimes I'm just wondering how he even knew that it was going to be a thing, because sometimes I know before people are hired and it's already done. Like, it's just, we don't question it.
Oh,
He's watching.
he is on top of it. Now let me ask you this. I think that one of the biggest concerns about people taking jobs and stuff is burnout.
Mhm.
And I think everybody agrees that burnout is real. What are your thoughts on trying to prevent burnout? What would you tell users along those lines as a jobs coordinator?
That's a great question, actually. It depends on the individual, because if you take on a job that you're really interested in and you really really want to do, you're not going to burn out from doing that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What you're going to burn out from is taking other jobs that you're not as interested in, and now you start to feel like you're forced to do it. And that's what, in my opinion, causes burnout. And there's a real balance there of doing enough to satisfy what you need and doing too much.
Yes.
And once you start doing too much, it becomes really clear to everyone what jobs are not as important to them.
Yep.
So what I would really, really stress is if you find yourself in a position where you're starting to burn out, take a small step back. If you have multiple jobs, I would say try to start moving on from that job. It doesn't really necessarily need to be into something else, but now you're focused on 2 things instead of 3 or whatever it may be. I would say just to clear your least interesting, or the job that you're least interested in.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that when I was first annoyed with not getting jobs, I don't think I seeked out your help as much. I think I talked to you about it, and you offered to help me, and I was really appreciative of it. But I was more afraid of asking for help because I didn't want to just pick any job. I wanted to be kind of specific in what I was going for based off of what I like and what I enjoy doing just in my normal day-to-day life. And so even now, me and Toaster joke about how many jobs we have, but all the jobs that I have a passion for. I want to do them. I enjoy it. I think each of them bring a different thing. But it was also funny because like the one job I wanted since I got here was simmer, just because I knew how to do it. I had the skills to do it, and I knew that was a job that was always needed. But the 2 seasons that I got here, that wasn't needed for the first time in a long time. And then after I got the JGM, it was like, oh, now we need a simmer, and I was like, well, still want to do it. So I'll do it.
Just don't want to do it. Just can't sim for the league you want.
Yeah. So, but I think that it's important to really enjoy what you're going to be doing, because even though you get paid in SHL dollars, you don't make real money. So anything you're doing is a volunteer effort for the league, and you have to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm always on the side of fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my version of fun is not the same as everyone else's version of fun, but I think that since that this is largely what it's all about, it's a volunteer thing. Why are we not having fun?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. I think that, and I think that there's always a lot of people need to remember that the league is for fun.
Oh, absolutely.
For fun and run by all people.
Yes. All people spending their free time doing it. So, Toaster, you have any questions for Fancey on the site coordinator job? Anything along those lines?
2 sort of questions. The first one, for the job sheet you're making, are you going to sort it by like what people generally consider intro jobs so that new gens can see what would be easier, or are you just going to have it all laid out and let them see what they're interested in?
Yeah, so right now it's still very early. There's still a lot of departments I got to hit. I am taking notes of department heads that hire specifically new users. That is included in there. So however it ends up turning out, I can't really say right now, just because there's so much work that I still got to do on it. But yes, that will be a large aspect of it as well. Just so, I mean, it's very possible that someone joins site tomorrow and says, okay, I'm ready for SHL GM because I thought it was like NHL 25, right? Just an example. That's not going to happen. It's just not the requirements of the job. So it is a very important aspect of knowing what you can actually apply for in getting the job.
Yeah, and I think that you're right on that, because I think some people come in and go, "Oh, I could do the GM thing easily. Let me apply for that," and then they get mad that I don't get it. But I think that there's always a path to be able to see how to do each job, and everybody in the league is very open and willing to share information. That if you just reach out to some of them, they'll be honest with you about it. So
Absolutely.
I always tell a lot of the new people, feel free to reach out. Like, even people that get picked up by another team that I've talked to, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, anything along the lines of, anything on the site that you're confused about, and feel the same way about everybody else, because so many people have knowledge that they want to share. Like, Luke, you can ask Luke almost anything.
Luke's awesome. Luke's also helped me a lot.
He'll try to find you an answer right then and there.
He responds super fast.
Yes. So having users like that on this site is probably one of the top things about the league.
Yeah, it was funny that you mentioned Luke, actually, because Luke's helped me a lot with the data for those medias and all that stuff. It's just Johnny on the spot.
If there's data in the league, Luke is touching it somewhere.
Yep.
Go ahead, Toaster.
I forgot what my second one was. I forgot. That's annoying.
So let me pull up. I'm going to put us back onto 3-person, and I'm going to share my screen here. So the first one we wanted to talk about today is the events coordinator job. So I'm going to let you take this away. I'm just making it bigger for you to see.
Yeah, so basically, as far as I know, for the events department head, it's a lot of graphic stuff. I'm not going to touch too much on requirements and things like that. I just kind of wanted to put it out there that this is a job that's hiring right now. And it's, if graphics is your thing and you want to be involved in, basically just league events, this is probably something that you should be applying to, or if not, just interested in it in general. If anyone here actually is interested in this, you can reach out to me. I'll help you pretty much as best as I can. And that goes for the other job that we're talking about today as well. On Discord, I'm just, I think it's just like my name here with a little period on the end. My profile picture is a little Lego Indiana Jones man. So
that's fantastic. One of my favorites.
But yeah, if this is something that you're interested in, making new graphics and interested in league events, definitely reach out to me and I can help you out a little bit here.
Yeah, and Jurt did such a great job as the previous events had. And there's a lot of people in that event server. That's one of the other servers that I'm in as well, by helping out in the draft and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people in there. It's one of those jobs that you do have to have that passion for graphics, because it is a lot of graphics for the award show, for Hall of Fame, and for the draft too. Not as much there because you do have people helping you with that, but if you're passionate about graphics and you're worried about maybe the presentation portion of it or the broadcast portion or something like that, know that there's people in that server that's going to help you and will be there to make sure. There's always Ara, Ace, me, Hiff, and many others have been there to help those events. And Cammy, that was the name that slipped my mind for a brief second. And Cammy, we've had you on twice, so I apologize for forgetting your name.
Can't forget Cammy.
So, the other job that we wanted to talk about was WJCHO. LGRW, Let's Go Red Wings 613, was hired as the new WJC commissioner. So congratulations to him, but I'll let Fancey take it away on this one too.
Yeah, once again, I don't want to deep dive into too much on the stream here, just because that would take, I could talk about that all night. But yeah, it's I guess for people who aren't really familiar with HO, it's kind of a step above GMing. You're kind of just ensuring that all the GMs are playing by the rules, and if you got an interest in that sort of thing, keeping track of the ins and outs of, I guess almost a side league, since it's the World Juniors. IIHF's kind of the same thing, but it's also really, really great experience to put on a resume after your term is over.
Yes.
That's what I really, really want to stress here, is that this looks great on a resume for another job, because you can only work this for 2 seasons until your term expires. I mean, I guess it could technically be renewed, but it looks absolutely fantastic when you apply for something else.
Yes, and there, the WJCHO is a little bit. I don't want to say less impactful as regular HO, but it's not as intensive. So it's a good way to kind of get a good understanding of an HO that you might want to go into the the SHL HO or the SMJ HO or IIHF HO. It's a good way to start it, because it's not, you're not doing you're not running constantly for the full 8 weeks of the season. A lot of it's coming down to the kind of 4 weeks surrounding the WJC tournament. So it's a good entryway, and like you said, it's good to kind of have on your SHL resume of other jobs when you're going for other jobs.
Oh, absolutely. And I think they're looking for 2 people for that. I'm pretty sure.
Yep, 2 people, and that's a Papa Source said job security as well. You can infinitely reapply and almost retain your job if you're decent.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think that's this is the contact information on it. Let me get rid of. Sorry, I have to get rid of that one. Send apps and questions on site in Discord on the post, or Takari, or low key a zombie, and they'll get you taken care of. So those are the 2 positions that people have specifically reached out to us and said, please advertise. Low key zombie said, come work with us at WJCHO. We want to see new faces. Look, if you're new gen, try out WJCHO. It's a really good way to learn. A lot of the J people will have more passion for the WJC, and we need all the passion for the WJC that we can get.
Yeah, for the past couple of seasons since we joined, it kind of seems like the WJC is on the back burner from everything else going on.
Yeah.
But with the right HO in there, if they're super passionate about it, promoting it could really be something special for all first gens or just J users in general.
And if you're wanting to dip your toe into GMing when those jobs become posted in the next week or so, I imagine it's coming up. WJC GMing. They're always looking for GMs. It's a great way. You can get partnered up with somebody very low. I can't think of the low risk GMing. You get a kind of
entry level. I would say.
Yeah,
it's very entry level GMing.
Yep, and it gives you not the greatest peek behind the curtain, but it gives you a good idea of everything that kind of goes into regular GMing. it gives you that small peek into it. I wouldn't say a whole lot of it, but there you still have to kind of do a couple
And
things that a regular GM does, not as much.
Bad Wolf is also correct there. If you're super into the Jays, you will like the WJC.
And I'm trying to see if I think that was it. I don't know if they are still looking for a social media manager. It still says hiring. I don't think that it's been hired. So if you're interested in that, reach out to Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
If you like social media and you love, bragging about the SHL, this is your job.
It's actually funny. This is one that I actually don't know because I've been on vacation all week. I just got back today.
This one has been posted for a while, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this one's been posted since May.
That's a bump on that, I guess, or maybe.
Yeah, a bump earlier this week. Yep. So
they're still looking.
Yeah, they are still looking. So to apply, these are who you reach out to. Yep, still hiring.
Perfect. But yeah, that's another one that's available, I guess. Again, sorry about that. Like I said, I've been kind of checked out a little bit of the vacation.
I think about it like it's I need a partner in crime. I wanted to put that up there. You are forgiven for that because I think everybody. This is a tough time of the year. It's the dead center of the summer. Everybody has so much going on. It's kind of this is the toughest time for me right now, just because I've been so busy with work. Plus, it's summer break with my kids. Then one of them has to stay home all week because he's sick. It's just been SHL has been on the back burner a little bit for me this week.
Yeah, I went straight from midterms into a vacation, so it's
well-deserved vacation then. Yes, absolutely. If any of you guys have questions for Fancey or for us, please post them in the comments. We'd love to answer. We do have. I want to see how this looks. We're running a new program, and I can actually do chat overlays. It just doesn't look as good here, so we'll have to work along with that. So, still learning it a little bit.
I think there were a few questions on the thread, actually.
Was there? Let me go to the thread then. I'm gonna try
bonus question for Fancey. Are you cooking up any other new jobs? Because I know you got the Chirp Police. You campaigned for that to be added. Then you
I have a few ideas, I'll say. I don't have anything that I really like enough to even say right now, because believe it or not, there's a nice bit that goes into it, and you really need to try and come up with something that pleases almost everybody. Mm-hmm. It's such a touchy topic in creating new jobs, and it's something that I know HO is really I wish it wasn't the way it was. I'll say that. I know it's been kind of tough for them as well. But I will say I do have sorry. I do have a few ideas, but again, it's a lot more of I need to speak to more people. I need to think about it a lot more before I want to say anything like super duper concrete.
I love the Chirp Police thought, and I think that it's been working really well on it. I will defend HO a little bit right now because I think everybody in there is going through what I'm going through too, where we're just really busy, and there has been things that have fallen to the wayside just because it's been hard to get everybody on at the same time to have those discussions that we need to have. So just as we're sorry. We're doing it. We're trying. So we will get into the questions. So BV had a couple questions. Would you still have drafted me if I was a worm? I mean, how hard was it to blow up the team a couple seasons ago?
Yeah, so that's a question that it does come up every now and again. because we did have a fairly competitive team. Um, I believe that was your guys' draft. I think.
Yes.
I think. But yeah, it's definitely hard to let go of some great users that we had there. We had Juke, Alaris was great, Caster and Rengoku. Like those are four genuinely great users that we nailed in a couple draft classes. It's very clear that we hit on those picks, and it's really tough to see almost an era go away.
Yeah.
But in saying that, in the picks that we got for that, we ended up with, I think, Monday, and I think Gallade or Armani Dove, which are going to be two 425s in our competitive window. So it's almost it's difficult to lose people, but at the same time, it's nice when it works out for the best as well.
Yeah. Their next question was, what do you think is the biggest area of improvement in Nevada over the past few seasons? And what do you want for the next few outside of Nevada winning the cup?
Easily the locker room. 4 or 5 seasons ago, we might not have gotten 3 messages in the entire season
Wow.
in like pop up in the locker room. And that was largely because we had a super big class of 76, which me and JFK were in as well. So we ended up losing like 9 or 10 users. So it just instantly all vanished. But um, a big part of this is actually BB, by the way, because she's been absolutely phenomenal in our locker room and would pick her again and again and again if we could redo it. But yeah, grabbing BB, starting to draft users that are more locker room based and people that can drive a locker room instead of people more so like myself and JFK who kind of add little bits to an already going locker room, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We add our comments, but we hardly ever drive conversations. That's just not who we are. So, really trying to find users who drive conversations is kind of difficult, but it's so satisfying when it pays off. And that's, I think, the biggest improvement that myself and JFK have made is just finding those users in the draft. And to answer the rest of it, which was, I think, what do you want for the future? Yeah, same thing. I just want to be able to continue what we've been doing, keep building the locker room, keep building, a tight knit community there of just not just people who ended up in the same spot, just people who wanted to be together in that spot.
Would you what would you put more important? Would you rather have a very active locker room and not win a cup, or would you rather have a dead locker room and win a cup?
That's that's quite a tricky question because a lot of times it kind of goes hand in hand.
It does. It does.
More active locker room, you have more active users,
Yes.
they're more earning. So, but if I did have to choose one or the other, I would pick the locker room 10 times out of 10. I mean, I'm not one for titles. I don't care about winning or losing. I'm here to have fun. And I think that's, to me, that's the most fun.
Good answer.
Definitely good to hear other JGMs thinking the same way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I know Patrick's also the same way. I would hope every JGM is where they'd want the active locker room over the winning, because obviously winning's fun. We just did it last season. It was a blast. But even my first season here, we weren't very successful until the playoffs, and I was still having a blast just as much as I was winning because of how active and talkative the locker room was. And with the J being developmental, I feel like it should be the focus there.
I mean, I also think that if you win and there's no one to talk about it in the locker room and hype it up, is it really that fun?
That's true.
Yeah, it really kind of kills the whole thing. JFK said, "Fancy, who's your least favorite Battleborn and why is it Shawnee?"
Yeah, it's
Just
gonna be
because
Shawnee, even though
Latvia
Shawnee
just got a
sneaks his way in. No, Shawnee's been in our locker room for a little while. He's he kind of comes and goes, does his own little thing. I don't want to interrupt him and JFK's romance or anything. So
it's hard to get in between them. Tommy or Blue Dog said, "Fancy, can I fight Patrick when we play Kelowna?" And I'll let you answer that one first.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has a lot of built-up frustration from being my friend for several years. I don't blame him. And then any advice?
That's a defender, Patrick. You're gonna lose. 7-1 odds. You win.
And then any advice for Patrick and Toaster as rookie GMs?
Well, that's a great question. I'd say yes. And I can't really speak on some of the things. Like, I'm not a great FHMer or anything. But I would say the best advice I could give you is patience. Don't rush when you want to do things. If you're looking to make a trade, bring it back to your war room and talk to your team. If you're wondering who you should draft, again, go to your war room and ask before you just say, okay, this is 100% who I want right here, right now.
No.
Just patience. And another thing to go with patience too is a lot of times, it's not always as lucky. And I say lucky not in the sense of that you got lucky, but in a sense of it was lucky for you, Toaster, to win in your first or second season as GM.
Yeah, first partial season.
Yeah, so it's just patience in that too, in your rebuilds. It does take time, and if you stick with it, it will change. But just don't try to rush things, and stick it out.
Yeah, I think that's been one of the things that I took when I went into Kelowna was I'm not coming in here as, this is my ship now. This is what we're going to do. It was, I want you guys still in the war room. I need your advice. I'm going to ask you what you guys want to do. It's, you guys built this team. I'm just stepping in to lead it now. But everything I've done has been, all right, this is what I'm thinking. What are you guys thinking? Where are we at?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think that's a huge piece of advice is to lean on everybody that you have in there. Cause it's, even, Toaster winning the 4-star cup in his first season, that he essentially was like, it wasn't me.
I knew from the jump. People were like, "Congrats!" I'm like,
and that's why Toaster will make a great GM is because it's never
me.
him. It's always he gives the credit to everybody else. So
it was cake.
That's the biggest thing. If there's not any final questions from our viewers, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up. We just hit the hour mark. Fancy, I really appreciate you coming on. I've been wanting to get you on for a while. And I can't thank you enough for coming on and all the tips that you've given me over the last couple seasons. I really appreciate.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, that goes for everyone, really. I mean, I'm pretty much an open book. I mean, I don't mind to help out. It's part of my job at this point. So if anyone, literally anyone wants anything, just find a little Lego Indiana Jones man on Discord and you got the right guy.
All right, send me your tactics and what you're running.
It's a little bit too much.
Toaster, you have anything final for Fancey?
Just thank you for coming on. It was a blast having you here.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I want to also reiterate, if you're wanting to win this flag behind me, donate to the league, $12. Just tag me in it or reach out to me on Discord telling me that you did it. And then if you mark it down on the website, you will get 10 packs of cards every month, base cards sent to you on the website. So if you're looking to get into cards, that's a great way to do it. It helps keep the site running. It helps with a lot of, it's not $12 a month. It's $12 one time for the year to get 10 cards a month. So we're just kind of, we're trying to drive new people in there. There's been a couple upgrades on the back end of the website to make it run smoother. We've hit, I think I read an HO chat that this was the fifth consecutive 500 activity check weeks in a row. So we have more active users on the site than we've ever had, which means that there's more site workload on the servers, which is a higher expense. So I just wanted to do this as a way to try to get more money put into there to help the league. So you get a free flag. All it costs you is a $12 donation to the league, and we'll raffle it off. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We will hopefully be back next week with the season wrap-up and playoff predictions. Playoffs are just about to start. It's crazy to think.
Just around the corner. Feels like the season just started.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good night. Bye.